welcome again to today's episode, and if you're new here, this is Real Hustles, a platform that guides you to create online and offline side hustles that can earn you some moolah, some revenue, some good money over time. And we guide you and take you through the process. So if you haven't subscribed, feel free to do so. Share it with people who need to get an extra money. About today's episode, let's be honest with each other. There are some rules that apply to every one of us. And when I mean everyone, I mean everyone. Everyone. What are these rules? One is we all have 24 hours a day. Who has 36 or 26? Nobody. We all get 24. From Elon Musk to Dennis to whoever it is, all of us get 24 hours. And the second rule is when you say, I don't have time, what it literally means is you have prioritized one thing over the other. So those are the two rules that we definitely talk about. 24 hours, and when you say I don't have time, it means I choose this over that. There is no I don't have time. There is always I have chosen this and I have let go of this because of priorities. As these rules apply to both of us and all of us, then what makes the difference between people who can create an extra 2 hours a day and those who say they can't, those who say they are perennially busy? What's the difference? Now, whether we want to look at those differences or not is not the point here. Our point here today is to look at what are the best ways that you can use to track, master your time, and eventually create an extra 1 hour, an extra 2 hours a day that you can use to build your side hustles. Remember, this channel is about helping you to bring and create online side hustles and basically side hustles from everywhere. We want to help you to do that by first helping you to take management of your time. So be sure to watch it to the end because the tips we are going to share today are super important, okay? So let's look at the things that you need to track your time and get an extra 2 hours a day or 1 hour a day to help you build your side hustles. Number one is you need to have a clear goal. You need to know what you want. Now, if you don't know what you want, chances are that everything that pops up will be arresting and struggling for your time. But the moment you're clear about this is where I want to go, then it's super direct, because what you are simply doing is you are saying, I don't want that, I want this. I don't want this, I want this. You are focused, and that also helps you to thin out the things that are not a priority. So regardless of wherever you are, knowing what you want is super important. And what about the second one? The second thing is, having known what you want, you also want to be able to track your time. Tracking your time is as simple as going from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. What are the things that you are literally doing within these times? If you sleep 6 hours a day or you sleep 8 hours a day, whatever the number of hours you sleep, what are the things that you do during your waking hours from the beginning to the end? Now, this is not what I mean when we say tracking your time. I wake up, I freshen up, I have breakfast, I get to work, I have lunch, I come back home, I watch TV, I have dinner, and I sleep. Now, that's very close to it, but it is a little vague. What you need is something that literally tracks every moment of your time. From when you wake up, what are the things that you do? So wake up, there is going to the washroom, there is freshening up over there, there is, if you do some exercise, there is some exercise time. If you're the prayerful type, then there is some prayer time or personal time right there. You literally track that. Then you will realize that over and over again, there are various pockets of time that you're either on memes, on the phone, or you are on social media reading through, or whatever it is, right? Or you're watching a YouTube video, And it is those moments that cumulatively add up to rob you of every time, so that eventually you will be saying, I don't have time. So what I actually do with this is I have a planner, and it's a day planner. I literally designed this so that it can help me to keep track of my time. What I do is, from the beginning, it's called Day Planner, Design Each Day to Win, and every day I have exactly everything that I do, and there is what are the productivity habits, what are the core results of today, and I try to track everything down from when I wake up to when I go to bed. Now, there are other tools that you can use. You could use Excel, you could use Evernote, you could just use a notebook, and you simply just take note of tracking your time. And I recommend that you do this for about 2 to 3 weeks, so that you're able to get a sense of where exactly you are wasting time. And then when you pick that, then what you can choose to do is you will realize there are things that you need to eliminate, there are things you need to delegate, there are things you need to automate, right? And I will be talking more about them as we go on. So the point here is tracking your time. Let's move on to number 3. And off to number 3, we are talking about the evening routine. You need to create an evening routine that gets you closing one day and opening another one the next day, right? So evening routines are simply a series of activities that you do to make sure that the day is closed, and then you're ready for the next one. So it could be as simple as reviewing your day. Did you accomplish your goals? It could also be as simple as praying and meditation. It could be making calls here and there to make sure that tomorrow is planned well, so that when you go to bed, you have closed that time and you feel comfortable, at ease with yourself. What I used to do before is, when I didn't do this, I would jump out of bed and I remember something I didn't do before, and then it suddenly destabilizes my day. So creating an evening routine is a very effective way to start taking control of your time, so that you can create an extra 1 hour or 2 hours a day. On to the next one is creating a morning routine. Now, again, from evening, you need a morning routine. Morning routines are normally routines that get you started on your day. It's those things that remind you of where you want to go, remind you of the things you want to put as priority, so that you get to do them effectively and with the inspiration that comes from inside of you. Now, I will be sharing some videos later about how to create evening routines, how to create morning routines. But for now, I just want you to start thinking about that and actually researching online about it. And if you want to read more about it, again, I also write this in my blog that is in the description section below, on how you can actually create these evening and morning routines. Now, on to number 5. You want to also do one proactive thing, the first thing every day. You have 24 hours. Perhaps you have spent the first part of that 24 hours sleeping and waking up. Now, before you do anything else, perhaps this is the time before you go to work, or the time before you go to class. It could be the hour between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. It could be the hour between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. where you actually take time to do one main thing towards building your side hustles. Now, when you actually take that time and do it, then you realize that you are potentially adding more focus towards building your side hustle, and it frees you to now do several other things that then you normally do in your day. When you do that, then you realize that you actually have accomplished a major part of getting an extra income, while you still do perhaps your day job or your schoolwork and this kind of thing. And if morning hours don't work for you, then you could also just go the extra 1 hour or the extra 2 hours in the night, shut off everything and focus on doing one proactive thing that very day. Now, to sum up and to wrap this up, we come to the last tip, and the last tip is arresting the top biggest time wasters. from when we wake up to when we go to bed, there are so many things that we find mundane, like we find repetitive, that can be arrested. Like you can just take note of them and eliminate them. You can delegate them, or you can automate them so that you have an extra hour or so per day to work on your side hustles. Let's look at them. What are their examples? Some of the examples I could talk about is commuting. Now, if you commute to work, like most of us, then you realize that you have to wake up at a certain time, and then between say 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. you are on a traffic jam to work. Now, this is the thing. If you left 1 hour earlier, for work, then you realize that there is no traffic jam at that time, and you arrive to work earlier, and the hour before the work begins, you are at work, or you are in a coffee shop somewhere close to work, working on your side hustle. That 1 hour can be super, super important. Another example is cooking at your home. You know, I find this very interesting, but some group of people I know decided to create what they call a co-op. So where as groups, they actually live in the same apartment, and they cook once a week in every different household. So if today it's my turn to cook dinner, then I cook that dinner and you come and we eat it together. Tomorrow somebody else does that, the next day somebody else does that, and you realize that in a week you just have one dinner to cook, because then every other day is covered. You see, this saves a lot. Another example is when you have somebody who comes over and cooks for you. It could be what people would normally call a day bag, who comes, just cooks your meal for the whole week. You pay them some small monies, but remember, the small money you pay gives you, it gives you an ability to now focus on building your side hustle. At the beginning, it could be challenging, and you could actually do it yourself. You could just consider cooking every meal yourself so that you save on that money. But later on, when the side hustles begin to pick up, then you can afford to pay for that with ease. Now, there are so many ways and so many things that take our time away from us, including social media, including watching TV, including commuting, as we've talked about, and so many other things. And I write again about this in the blog if you want to read more on some of these time wasters and how to eradicate them. And you can just click it in the description below so that you can actually read more about that. But the most important thing is, if you can actually arrest these time wasters and and do one proactive thing per day, have a morning routine, have an evening routine, track your time, and be really clear about what you want, then you realize that you can get an extra 1 hour, an extra 2 hours per day. That is enough for you to build a successful side hustle. Let's see which of these you're going to take on. And if you need any help in any way, again, you can connect to us in the link description, or you can leave a comment and we will be sure to follow up. Till next time, have a fantastic one and see you soon.